Charity, eh? What's my cut? Nothing.
Hello and welcome to the Hypertrophy Odyssey, chapter 299. It is the second day of the week, aka the Special Bean Cannon workout. I am feeling great, a little lazy, but it is what it is. But anyways, to the main subject matter for today. People who ruin charity for others. Most of the time, yes, this is actually a continuation from yesterday's video, which is right here about charity, because I really think that this could be described in its own video, because this is an actual issue. I think most people can understand why without looking at just charity by itself, which is a good thing inherently that most people understand. This is the other side of it, where too much charity can lead to this issue where it is either a never-ending cycle or things like that. I'm going to get into more details when we go downstairs, but I'll say this about it. There are a lot of downsides with a lot of stuff when it comes to like the virtues and everything, particularly this one so far. There are a bunch of others, but this one is a failing because it is a social contract in essence, really, where you as the person with some ability to give has the ability to give to someone else in need, right? That is the social contract in theory. As well, there probably are some legitimate contracts, but some of the other virtues you can kind of withhold in yourself, really, and then project it out, and you don't have to necessarily be available to others. You don't have to be necessarily open to others. This one is different, in which you have to kind of give something to somebody else, whether it be your mental or physical or monetary. You have to give charity to someone. You cannot be you can be charitable to yourself, but at a certain point that starts to become greed and other things, right? So it is very strange. So this one is something that you have to extend the olive branch, right? So it's interesting to think about the fact that sometimes it really does fail because those who are getting the olive branch extended to are a piece of shit. So it sucks. So you have to kind of retract everything that you kind of learned and be not as charitable as you would like to be. So today we'll talk more about that and all the things that go along with the people that ruin it for everybody else, and those who maybe keep the cycle going of ruining it for everybody else and stuff like that. But we'll talk about that and a few other things along with the charity thing, but on the other end. And we'll talk about that when we get to Mother Ace. Alright, so started this day off with squats, which were pretty good. But anyways, back to the main subject matter at hand. People who ruin charity. So the main reason why I wanted to talk about this was because of the fact that I had made the video previously about charity. And I really did think that this could be its own subject matter, because I feel like a lot of people aren't necessarily talking about the idea of charity being ruined on both ends of the spectrum. On one hand, let's go with the ones that are doing the charitable donations. Let's just go with the monetary ways of charity, because I don't want to necessarily look at the charitableness in other aspects of things. We can do that, but maybe I'll get into a little bit later. But I just want to focus on the monetary ways, because I think that that is the easiest to look at and see how it's become corrupt. So we have people who are giving charity, but the question is then, why are they doing it? Because for some people it is because they know they are well off, but you see that people will exploit this and or will be seen as giving something just to have a good name rather than actually doing it for the reasons that they're saying they're doing it. This is like the Mr. Beast effect, basically, is what's happening with that, where somebody is giving out a bunch of something, but now the question is why, and some people believe it's because he's using these people as content, which, of course, isn't necessarily good, but at the end of the day, at least they are getting something out of it. That is something that happens. You also get people who give to charity that are just charities that are basically guises for family members in order to get money through something else in order to fund some other type of thing. There are a lot of people who end up doing this. Let's say they get horses and now they create a nonprofit for horses, and now somebody that they know can funnel money into that. And there are a lot of ways to do that, to
to kind of skirt the tax laws and things like that. There are also people who give out money to other organizations just so they can grease their hands like that. There are ways where from the top down, it's still a slimy, disgusting thing because there are people who are giving it aren't doing it for the reasons why. They're doing it for whatever, like let's say a tax break or to grease some palms or things like that, which basically fundamentally undermine the entire idea of charity because you want to help. This isn't necessarily help. It's helping yourself with the added benefit of helping others. It's like the self comes first. And I think that that's the issue with charity in general, is that the self should not come first, especially if you are the one giving. Now, the other way around, where you are the person receiving, the person on the lower end here, the one that actually probably needs the charity. The issue with these people is that sometimes they are not doing anything with the charity, which is kind of frustrating, especially because you see this and you're like, oh, okay. I think the biggest and most normal example that most people will see is if you see a homeless person and you offer them food instead of money and they reject the food, then it's like, okay, I understand why sometimes, but also I get why you just want money because money is just more valuable to you. And then these types of things just make it so it's like, okay, how much of a shitty situation are you in where you have to get the money, right? And then it starts getting to the idea of panhandlers and how panhandlers have probably also kind of made it so charity is frowned upon because you don't even know necessarily the situation that these people are in. So then that way you could be giving your money away to somebody who goes home immediately and uses their money for X, Y, or Z. And that's the other issue, is that sometimes these people use their money for things that they shouldn't, like let's say drugs, alcohol, gambling, those types of things, instead of using it for food or shelter or things that are essentials like socks, things like that. And it sucks because you can't really necessarily say, hey, do this with my money that I'm giving you, of course, because it's up to them. But also you don't want to necessarily know that your money is literally going to either waste or to making the person's life who's already hell even worse, which by proxy kind of goes back to you because now you've in theory enabled them. So it kind of fucks you over as well. It's like you did the good deed, but was it the good deed? And it's a weird cycle where it's both parties at both ends have kind of ruined it for everybody. And it makes it so people who actually should get it and need it are kind of ostracized on the sides. And those who want to help and actually have the ability to help are kind of ostracized as well because they don't necessarily know. And there's like a fundamental level of trust that has been broken there that is very hard to really get back. And I'm very saddened about that because now trying to repair that seems almost impossible in today's society.
And we're back. Welcome to the workout debriefing. Exercises not filmed, none. Exercises skipped, also none. Got everything in, thankfully. Gonna make this quick because I don't have much time. Back to the main subject matter at hand. The people who ruin charity for others. This one, it sucks because I was thinking about this while doing my workout as per usual, and it occurred to me that like you can't even criticize the people that are ruining it for charities or getting charity because they're already in a position of being fucked. It's like punching down. It's kind of a shit position, but you kind of have to call it out or else you can never really stop the cycle of people destroying the charity that is given to them. It's very weird. It's a very strange area because you can't. They're already in a shit situation in a way. So it's kind of like, damn, are you really going to say shit about that? But at the same time, we probably should honestly be more vocal about this type of stuff because realistically, the fact that we aren't vocal and then just stop giving is half the battle. We need to be vocal for those who are not for it. You know what I mean? That are like ungrateful, if that would be the word, or overextending themselves or doing whatever it is to ruin the charity for everybody else. I think that those people need to be called out because even though they are in a situation that is shitty or whatever, they need to have some responsibility in the sense that you are taking something and thus have to use it to your advantage, and or use it to, as much as you use it to the point where it is useful and or what it is meant to be used for, if that makes any sense. I hate that we can't really talk about that, because then it's seen as wrong, or like, oh, you know, they're already doing so terribly, why are you, you know, they can do what they want. No, because of the fact that you have this stupid mentality of they can do what they want, they will do what they want, but then ruin it for the rest of us or other people that need the charity, let's just say, that all of a sudden it's no longer an option because the one person decided to ruin it, and then that one person isn't allowed to be called out for it because they're already in shit situations. So it's like, it's a weird dichotomy that you have to kind of break in order to be able to move forward and move past it. Unfortunately, you're going to have to punch down. There's the occasional time where you do have to shit on somebody that's already getting shat on through life because they did something shitty. It doesn't matter necessarily. If an asshole's dirty, it has to get wiped. It's the same thing. Unfortunately, you're going to have to do it. If you don't do it, then it's just going to stay dirty and stinky the entire time. I know it's an inapt analogy, but I just really wanted to use it. But still, it's just the idea of it is generally there. I don't understand why people can't get that across their head, because these are the types of people that when they don't get called out, will continue to do the cycle of just making sure that charity is taken less and less seriously. So you just might as well just get rid of them. So, or at least not get rid of them. The only thing that we can do really is just call it out and make sure that other people do not make the same mistakes that they do, and call out the people that call out the other people that try to be like, oh, you can't say that. No, yes, we can. Those are the people that are ruining society. But that's a whole other story for a whole other day. And with that being said, tell me what you think in the comments below. I'd love to know your thoughts and opinions about this one in the comment section down below. This one was an extension of yesterday's, so I don't know when I'll come back to charity, but I probably will relatively soon. I'm not sure yet. It's still fresh in the brain. But anyways, thank you very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Please share this video with anybody who may or may not like it. I will be back on tomorrow with a new video. Thanks very much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Keep it heavy. Stay safe out there. Stay cool out there. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.